The whole room went silent. Thousands of people at the Kennedy Center in Washington, world leaders on stage, cameras rolling live to billions around the globe. And Mark Carney just made a joke that nobody saw coming. He looked at the FIFA president, glanced at Donald Trump, and said something that made the entire crowd gasp. Now, here's the thing. This wasn't just about soccer. This was diplomacy at its finest. This was a Canadian Prime Minister walking into the lion's den and walking out with his head held high. And honestly, I don't think most Canadians even know what happened that day in Washington. So let me break it down for you, because this is a story worth telling. December 5th, 2025, the FIFA World Cup 2026 final draw. For the first time in history, 3 countries are hosting the World Cup together: Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And for the first time ever, FIFA World Cup matches will be played on Canadian soil. Think about that for a second. Toronto, Vancouver, our cities, our stadiums, the world's biggest sporting event coming to our backyard. We're talking about 48 teams, 104 matches, 7 million fans expected to attend, and an economic impact of nearly $4 billion for North America. For Canada alone, about $2 billion and 25,000 new jobs. This is massive. But here's what made this draw so interesting. The relationship between Canada and the United States has been complicated. Trump's tariffs, trade tensions, the whole 51st state nonsense. You know what I'm talking about. So when Carney walked into that Kennedy Center, everyone was watching. How would he handle it? Would there be awkwardness? Tension? What happened next surprised everyone. If you're proud of how Canada showed up on the world stage, hit that like button. Let's make sure more Canadians see this story. So there they are, on stage at the Kennedy Center, Mark Carney, Donald Trump, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum, and FIFA President Gianni Infantino. The format was simple. Each leader would draw their country's name from a bowl to determine which group they'd be in. Ceremonial, sure, but symbolic. And then the draw started getting interesting. Paraguay got pulled. Carney leaned over to Trump and said, "They're a good team." Just a casual comment between 2 leaders watching the draw unfold. Moments later, Paraguay landed in the same group as the United States. Now here's where Carney showed his wit. He turned to Trump and said, and I'm not making this up, "Don't worry, these are just recommendations. We have to sign off." Trump laughed. The crowd laughed. Even the FIFA president was shaking his head with a smile. But Carney wasn't done. When Italy's name came up, and remember, Italy has won 4 World Cups. Someone asked about Canada potentially facing them. Carney's response? Maybe we'll get someone better than Italy. The crowd gasped, then they laughed, because here's a Canadian Prime Minister on the world stage, showing confidence in our national team. No apologies, no hedging, just pure Canadian confidence. Here's what most people missed about that moment. This wasn't arrogance. This was a leader who believes in his country, who believes in our team, who isn't afraid to stand tall next to anyone. And the atmosphere between Carney and Trump? Reports say they were constantly leaning in to talk to each other, laughing, smiling. At one point, all 3 leaders, Carney, Trump, and Sheinbaum, went up to a balcony together to watch the rest of the draw, a sign of North American unity that the cameras captured for the world to see. But here's the part that really mattered. After the draw, the 3 leaders met privately. No staff, no cameras, just Carney, Trump, and Sheinbaum in a room for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. When Carney emerged, his office confirmed they discussed keeping the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement on track. They talked about the World Cup, and they agreed to keep working together. Now think about the context here: tariff threats, trade tensions, political pressure from all sides, and Carney walked into that room and came out with a commitment to cooperation. Later that evening, at the Canadian Embassy's World Cup celebration, Carney spoke about what this moment means. He called it a moment of pride to welcome the world alongside Canada's dear neighbors. Wayne Gretzky was there, Jesse Marsh, Canada's national team coach, the FIFA president himself, and Carney struck the perfect tone. Proud, confident, but gracious. There are more than 200 nationalities in Canada, Carney said on stage earlier that day. More than 200 nationalities in FIFA. The top 48 are coming to North America. It's going to be the biggest deal ever. That's not just a prime minister talking. That's a Canadian who understands what this moment means for our country. So, what does this all mean for you and me? It means that in June, the world is coming to Canada. Our cities will be on the global stage. Our hotels will be full. Our restaurants will be packed. Our economy will get a boost that we haven't seen from a single event in decades. It means 13 World Cup matches in Toronto and Vancouver. It means Canadian kids watching the best players on the planet right here at home. And it means that when the pressure was on, our Prime Minister showed up. He didn't back down, he didn't play it safe. He cracked jokes with world leaders, negotiated behind closed doors, and represented Canada with the kind of confidence we all want to see. Is everything perfect between Canada and the United States? No. There's still work to do. Trade talks ahead, tough negotiations coming. But on that day in Washington, Mark Carney reminded the world of something important. Canada isn't here to be pushed around. We're here to compete. We're here to host. And we're here to win. What do you think about Carney's performance in Washington? Did he strike the right tone? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. This is what happens when Canada shows up with confidence. And honestly, I think we're just getting started.